They elevated Jesus Christ from a messenger. It says, whoever worships other than me, they will be doomed. Sent prophets and messengers in the past to tell people to worship him. And the same God sent prophets like Moses, Jesus, but he also sent another prophet, the universal prophet, the final prophet called Muhammad, which you believe in. Yeah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We say, peace be upon him and upon all the prophets, with the same message that we should all worship none but God. You see, what happened in the past, people having received the same message, you know what happened? People started elevating the messenger or the angels or someone else like the saints.
I've been trying with her for 32 years.
That's all right. That's all right. They elevated Jesus Christ from a messenger to the Son of God and to God. When he told people to worship who? Who did he tell people to worship?
No, we are on the same path, but why do you have a need to tell people these things? You God,
because
you God, your business, your love, your
you ask a very important question though.
Yeah.
If God does not have a wife, for example, and somebody believes God has a wife, do you think those people who believe God has a wife, in the day of judgment, they will go to heaven by believing in that?
Also, if God spoke to you directly, you wouldn't like it.
Yeah. Imagine if somebody believes God has a wife, which you and I don't believe in. Do you think God will be happy with that individual and will say, "Yep, there you go, I've made paradise for you"?
That's God's business, not yours.
Yes. What does God say though? He didn't just leave it blank. He didn't leave these questions blank. He let us know the consequences of believing wrongly. He says, whoever worships other than me, they will be doomed. You only have to worship God and no one else. Yes. That was the message of all the prophets to Moses, to Jesus, and all the prophets. These are Jewish people. If you Kaiser, yeah. So what we are saying is, if you say now, why do you have to tell people what happened within Christianity, even Orthodox Christianity? If I ask you, tell me about God, you will say God is the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. But is this always been the case with the prophets and messengers who God is? If I were to ask you, according to Abraham and Moses and Jacob and Solomon and Adam and all the prophets in the past, if you ask them who God is, they will say there is no other God besides me, there is only one God. You shall have no other God besides me. I alone am God and there is none else. There is no Father, Son and the Trinity, Holy Spirit. So within Christianity what has happened is, when Christ talked about worshipping God, there was a time when Emperor Constantine, who was ruling, he wanted to unite the pagan. He wanted to unite the people who worship many gods. Isis, Osiris, Diana, Venus, Apollo, all these gods, sons and daughters of God, husband God, daughter God, whatever. That's what the Romans and pagans believed. So they wanted to say, look, it's not alien totally what I'm asking you to believe. We also have a God and have the Son of God and the Holy Spirit. So it's a little bit less than what you believe. That's how he was trying to restrict the belief. But in doing so, what he's done, he has totally changed the monotheistic belief and religion of Christ. Christ came to tell people that you should worship him only. And what we see today, the Orthodox people doing, not only Christ, they're associating partner with God. They sing Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary, and then praying to Mary, as if Mary can listen to your prayers. When Mary and Jesus are creation of God.
Now I don't have to listen to you anymore, because we are not on the same path.
No, so you clearly understood it's a different path.
Good luck.
But you need to be on the same path of Jesus Christ.
You will help me.
But they were walking away. It's not my fault, is it?
I've been trying for 32 years, man. I didn't get anywhere.
Did you marry her knowing that it's going to be difficult, or you didn't think at that time?
As a Muslim, I'm allowed to marry now.
Yes, but you didn't think at that time that it might be difficult. Your daughter.
I remained Muslim. Didn't change.
Brother, your daughter, is she a Muslim?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Very important. Keep on trying.
All the children.
Keep on trying. You're the man. You're the man in the family. Keep on trying. Okay. Okay. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. May Allah strengthen this brother and let him have the ability to convey the message of Islam to his wife. But clearly, she understood the message, and that's why she just left, because she realized there's a different path, not the path that she is following. This is not the path of Abraham and Moses and Jacob and Solomon and all the prophets of the past. So we ask also brothers, young brothers, if you're trying yourselves to marry a Christian or a Jew, think about whether they're really someone who's muhsanat, as the Quran says. Think about whether they're really Ahl al-Kitab. Do they really believe in God? Or are they associating partner with Allah? And think about the consequences, that whether your children is going to be someone who you will find difficult to make them a Muslim, and they become the religion of your future wife, a Jew and a Christian. So it's important that before you take the step of marriage, leaving the Muslim sisters when there are plenty around, and you just go because for whatever preference you have, you want to marry an English woman, whatever, because that's what you are. Think of the consequences. You've just seen one example in real life. He's been trying for the 30 years, and I don't know how they operate in their homes, in relationship, and so on and so forth. I don't expect it to be very easy. Okay, so this is a reminder for our Muslim brothers, those who want to marry people from other than Islamic community. Think twice, because are you trying to follow a path in which you're going to be suffering a lot in misery, like my brother here was suffering for 30 years in a way. So why aren't you taking the step to marry something from a Muslim family, a Muslim sister? Ask yourself, rather than creating some problems. I'm not saying every Christian that you go marry will have issues, but it's possible that they will have issues, and family will have issues with bringing up children. They will have issues with what you eat at home. She might want to eat pork on the same table and alcohol on the same table. I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to just walk away from it? She might want to worship God, in her own bedroom, which is your bedroom too. And this is associating partners with God and so on. So, there's a lot of things to consider. So I don't want to prevent you from marrying Ahl al-Kitab when Allah has allowed and made it permissible. But what I'm asking you to look at the consequences that you may fall into when you take that step, when the other alternative, the good alternative, is already there. Okay? Barakallahu feekum wa akhir dawana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.